Buying a house can be stressful. And then you add a mortgage on top of that, which makes the whole process even more confusing. But there's one major step that you can take in the beginning of the process that's gonna make your life so much easier. So let's get right to it. I'm Rudy Lopez, Mortgage Loan Advisor. If this is your first time on my channel, please click the subscribe button and tap the bell for notifications so you can stay up to date on all my videos regarding real estate and financing. All right, so let's talk about the difference between pre-qualification and getting pre-approved. So two huge differences that I wanna make sure that you guys fully understand before you go buy a house. All right, so you're ready to buy a house and you're ready to start talking to mortgage companies, but you're really not sure what to do. So you go online, you fill out an application, and you get a pre-qualification letter, and you feel like, man, you're doing good, right? Well, not so much. We need to slow down for just a second, because I'm gonna go over the difference between pre-qualification and pre-approval. Okay, so pre-qualification is pretty much a lot of just verbal information that you provide to the mortgage company or that you typed in during your online application. So unfortunately, none of it has been verified yet, so the pre-qualification letter sometimes is not always correct. So you gotta make sure that when you're getting a pre-qualification letter, that you kind of keep in mind that some of the information still might not be fully accurate. A pre-approval, on the other hand, is actually reviewed by an underwriter. So the underwriter has received your information, your pay stubs, your W-2s, your bank statements, all the necessary information, tax returns, and has reviewed everything. The pre-approval letter that you're getting from the underwriter actually already has information that has been verified. All right, so number two, the credit sometimes on a pre-qualification letter, as crazy as it might seem, is not always verified. Yes, you can get a pre-qualification letter and your credit hasn't really even been pulled yet. So you gotta be mindful that if you get a pre-qualification letter, that you understand that they might not have pulled your credit and it might not be totally accurate. Now, a pre-approval letter, all three credit bureaus, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, that have all been pulled. And the middle score of the three is what's used for qualification purposes. All right, so on the income side, if you're pre-qualified, really the bank and the mortgage company, all they're doing is taking the information that you told them that you make. And there are a couple of items that you need to be mindful that could come back and really bite you in the butt. Number one, if you're getting commission income, there's different calculations that need to be made in order to actually use that commission income for qualifying purposes. Also, if you receive a bonus, the mortgage company has to calculate that bonus accurately in order to use it. So not always, if you receive a bonus, is it gonna be used. So you gotta make sure that you provide that information in the form of pay stubs or even a verification of employment that we get from your employer to validate the actual bonuses that you make so that we can use that. Also, if you're self-employed, a lot of times business owners and self-employed individuals write off a lot of information. So providing your tax returns to the mortgage company is going to be extremely important for them to properly calculate your income and issue you a correct pre-approval letter. Hourly and fluctuating pay. Sometimes, just depending on how many hours you work, the mortgage company is gonna calculate your income differently. So you gotta make sure that if you're not working 40 hours, that you let your mortgage company know and that they take your pay stubs, they verify your income, they verify the hours, how many hours you've been working, and they issue you a proper pre-approval letter based on the income that has been verified. Part-time or seasonal work. Sometimes if you're working part-time, that income cannot always be used, but sometimes it can. It just really depends on the situation. Also, if you work for a company or if you have a seasonal job where during the holidays you're working, sometimes that income can or cannot be used. It really depends on your specific situation. So make sure that you provide that information to your mortgage company. On a pre-approval, your income has been verified by an underwriter, and that means that we've gotten your pay stubs, your W-2s, tax returns if you're self-employed, 1099 statements, retirement income, all the income that you receive has been verified by an underwriter. So it's very important that you make sure that this step is done early in the process so that we understand how much you actually qualify for. Your funds, also bank statements. The last 2 months of bank statements are provided to the mortgage company, which are used to verify that your funds are usable for the purchase of the home. Another extremely important situation that can sometimes come back and bite you in the butt if it's not done properly up front. On a pre-qualification, the funds are not always verified in the form of bank statements or providing the bank statements to the mortgage company. So you gotta be mindful that if you put on the mortgage application that you have $50,000 in the bank, the mortgage company is just gonna take your word for it and they're gonna issue you a pre-qualification letter. So you gotta make sure that you provide bank statements, that you go through the proper process of verifying the funds that are going to be used for the purchase of your house. All right, so what does this all mean to you? Well, despite all the stuff that I've just gone over, there are still a lot of people out there that just get a pre-qualification and don't actually go through all the steps to be fully approved. And that means that really, when you're putting an offer, if you're pre-approved, your offer is gonna be way stronger than someone that hasn't gone through all these steps. So if a seller has 2 offers on the table, and one is a pre-approved versus a pre-qualified offer, guess which one they're probably gonna go with? Yes, the pre-approval more than likely, because it's been through underwriting, there's more confidence behind that offer, it makes the sellers feel better about the buyer that's looking to buy the house, they're more credit worthy, and it just overall is gonna make for a smoother transaction as well. Especially because there's not gonna be any last minute issues. The underwriter has already reviewed your bank statements, reviewed your income, reviewed your pay stubs, verified your employment. There's not gonna be any last minute surprises that could potentially derail your transaction. And then really, since it's gonna be such a smoother transaction because we've already done most of the legwork up front, all you really gotta worry about now as you're buying your house is that the home is inspected, that the house is appraising, and that the closing is on time. And so really 90% of the work has already been done up front, which makes it for a much easier and smoother process for everybody involved. If you're interested in learning more about real estate, financing, and buying a home, please click on the subscribe button and tap the bell to receive notifications, and I'll be happy to help. Thank you for watching.